A question?
Sure.
Did you say you was gonna slap somebody if you saw them in my face?
What? First of all,
I'm just asking.
I'm 40 years old. I'm not supposed to be fighting nobody behind a man.
It ain't got nothing to do with me, but I'm just asking you a question.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Yes. Talking to you guys about Joel and Venetia. Venetia says she's gonna slap somebody. She's gonna slap somebody if you get in the face of her man Joel. Whether that's true or not, we're going to discuss that in this particular review going forward. Guys, do me a favor. If you're new to this channel, you're going to like it, share, and subscribe to this channel because we've got some more great content coming like this. Click on the bell button for the notification of the what uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Yeah, yes. Stay hydrated because the streets are hot out there. All right, cool. Let's get into this video. So we had obviously Joel and Vern, who were meant to be the couple that, you know, even Tommy himself said were rooting for. You know, they were meant to be the couple who were supposed to make it. They were supposed to be the couple who were supposed to give everybody hope, you know, in this hopeless world. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it didn't go like that. You know, it went downhill, and unfortunately, it just didn't work. And I want to say this. I think Joel did like Vern. He did fancy her. He found her attractive. You know, thought she was an amazing woman. But I think where it all fell down, and when it all falls down, where it all fell down, I think for Joel in this particular instance really was where you know, I think he started to feel that she was being territorial and being aggressive, and also beginning to control his experience on the show. Now, this is twofold because I definitely believe that he led Venetia on. He knew exactly how he felt and didn't disclose. It felt like he didn't disclose importantly how he felt along the journey to give her an idea of how to change if he felt like that behavior was not conducive towards them going forward. I think that is an issue that Joel has to talk about, which is his lack of communication, which is what he stood her up for 3 hours and not gone on a date with. What happened? Okay, there's a lack of communication which he consistently keeps having. That being said, I definitely believe, and we can take a little clip as well of this, you know, there was this gaslighting that was happening, if you want to call it.
And he finally admitted to me that he slowed down. And I think that's what really hurt me because, like, all the while I was like, what's wrong? Like, I thought we was going, you know.
Same direction. Same.
So Joel was making, before she said those points, she actually said that Joel, you know, didn't want to admit at first that he was slowing down. In fact, he said that she was slowing down, which is where the gaslighting comes in. You damn well know that you're slowing down and telling the other person that no, you're going at speed. No, really and truly, you are slowing down. Now, here, let me give another caveat. That may be that his perception. So it might not necessarily be a gaslight, but that may be his perception that as he's slowing down, he thinks she's going too fast. Right, that may be his perception as well, and I definitely believe there's truth in that. Absolutely, because whenever you're not feeling a person as much as they're feeling you, it will always feel like their speed is too fast for you. Everything they do is too fast for you, and I think that's similar enough what I'm with Kyra and Jason too. Right, with him telling her that he was happy to leave the process, you know, in week 2, whatever it was, when they were dating at the art gallery. Now, here's my thing. My thing around this issue here is that, you know, importantly, Joel knew where his head was at, and so that's why it made it seem as if that Vern was going really fast, because she also never had any other prospects, it seemed. The other prospects that were there, she didn't really engage with. We saw her kind of lock in to into Joel and no one else really. And so that was a problem because now you've got no power and you've got no leverage. That's the truth of the game. And that will make you focus more intensely on the other person who may not be intensely focused on you. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was another issue between the two of them as well. Let's have a look at this clip.
And he downplayed our relationship on several occasions. And he hurt me.
In what ways did?
Now, did Joe downplay the relationship? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when people are jumping in saying, you know, you're going to be an amazing couple, you're going to be married soon, this, that, we already knew he was pulling back. You know how we knew that? Earlier on in the season, where they were talking about marriage and with his friends, and he was like, hey, baby, you don't even know me, baby. You got to slow down, baby. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's the signal there, basically saying he wants to jump off the train. Because look, when a guy likes you and wants you, he's trying to pursue you in all areas and trying to go forward at full steam. Now, everybody's full steam is different. Some guys go with a different kind of pace. Others go with it faster. There's different variances of pace when it comes to saying, I really want you and I like you. So I can rock with that. I think here, though, in this particular case, we do see that that Joel at first was pursuing, but then quickly slowed down when he realized that Vern was really trying to go and be committed, and he wasn't ready to commit. And we said this from the jump of the very beginning of the season. We said Joel was going to be a playboy, okay? And he ended up being a playboy, we know, because we didn't feel like he was ready. Now, the whole story they sold us was, you know, his wife had passed and everything like that. I didn't think he was emotionally ready. That's why chest was always being shown. You're running around the block, your chest is naked. You're doing press ups, your chest is naked. Like, you like the attention, sir, and that's cool. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I like attention too. That's why my arms are always out. But that's why I can tell you straight away, listen, as well, that you like that attention-seeking aspect. And listen, let me keep it 100% trill. If you haven't healed from your wife passing, you're just going to cause a whole lot of issues with other women. Plus, when you were looking in the show, you were looking for a mother, really, for your kids. It didn't feel like you were looking for a wife. It looked like you're looking for a mother to take the stress and the burden from you. Almost like you're looking for a babysitter, and then you can go out there and do what you need to do. And maybe that's what you need, a babysitter, so that you can go and do whatever you need to do. Do you feel what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely wasn't straightforward.
Did Joel hurt you though?
He blamed me by trying to act like I was moving too fast. Like, when we were filming, me and Joel we left set every day together.
So here, obviously, she talks about the fact that Joel hurt her, and she let him know that, obviously, look, hey, you know, he's telling about the pace and everything, but he was one that, and this is why I said it's gaslighting, because he knows exactly what he was doing, right? He was playing, he was enjoying, and at the same time, he was also trying to convince himself, is this where I should be? Right? See, men dance around a lot because they want to make sure they're making the right choice. They don't make the wrong choice. So they dance around a lot. But the way they dance is very provocative. See, they're not dancing normal dancing and observing. They're being provocative. They're having their cake and eating it. If you've ever seen a girl in a club dance almost so provocative, and then when people come up to her, she's like, I'm dancing for myself. And you're like, that provocative? Hey, do your thing. And I feel that's what Joel's kind of done here. Dancing provocative. Vern's trying to get close. He's like, hey, I'm just doing my thing. Why are you trying to get so close? And that's what he's done. Whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or not, it's another whole discussion, another conversation. But it's the provocative dancing that he's done. It's the flirting that he's done. It's the words he's said. It's the way that he's made her feel like he's really invested. Look, when they go for interviews, he turns up with her. They go places for breakfast, he's with her. All of that lovely jubbly stuff. Listen, he knew exactly what he was doing. Stay hydrated on that.
We come early for interviews. We go get breakfast. If I'm interviewing, he waiting on me when I come out. We woke up on the phone together. We went to sleep on the phone together.
So they're doing a lot of things together. It's not like they're separate. It's not like they're doing things separately. It's not like they're not interlinked and interwoven. They're doing a lot together. And the problem here is that where they stood in relation to one another isn't being clearly communicated, and assumptions are being made, and people are feeling a certain way because they're not being respected, and they're not being told where they actually stand. So they have to assume their position, just like on battleships. They're at B7. They have to assume that's where you want them to be. And that's causing the issue because we're making assumptions. And as we make assumptions, we're making assertions. As we make assertions, we're making judgments. And as we're making those... okay, let me not... Okay, you know what I mean? Okay, y'all get into a place where you want to feel secure, and you think you are, but you haven't asked the other person where you stand.
Mm-hmm. That he neglected me.
Can I finish, V? Can I finish?
Okay.
Now, if you let her tell it, my last message from Venetia, I'm dating Stacey.
Now, here is where it turns all the way round. Because I believe throughout the whole season, and we kind of said this on a few episodes back on a live that we did, myself, Layla, we picked up on this and we spoke about it, and we got ruined in the chat for it, right? And we were saying that we could sense there was a deeper vibranium from Venetia towards Joel that was not going to rub off well. That seemed a little bit abrasive, a little bit aggressive, a little bit territorial. And we said that quite clearly, right? The audience weren't having it at the time. It's like, oh, we're policing black women in their tone. And it was like, nah, you're missing it. It's not just the tone. It's the energy we're feeling. We're intuitive and we're tuning in and we're saying, there's something deeper behind the way you're telling him. There's something deeper. And lo and behold, number one, he chose Kyra in the deliberation because of it. And I don't agree with that. That was petty. But lo and behold, here we see in this particular episode where we're told that she's going to slap somebody. And listen to what she says about Stacey in this next few clips, and you understand where we're coming from.
Well, that's the word on the street. He was hanging more out with Stacey and Chrysanthemum than he was with me. On top of that, I heard that.
So now we've got Vern's energy, and we're going to see the energy shift towards Stacey, and her truest sentiments towards Stacey is going to come out. But that's what he's talking about this energy that when she's got territorial, when she's got her claws into somebody, that energy of being territorial now becomes encompassing, and it feels like the walls are closing on a man. And for a lot of men, they don't want that experience. There's a lot of men who can deal with that as well. But a lot of men don't want that experience. They don't want to feel like the walls are closing in. They don't want to feel like I can't talk to another woman without you jumping off the cliff. We don't want you jumping off at any given situation. You're a jump off whenever situations kick off, because then you're not reliable. Then I know that you're a volatile person. You can embarrass me in public because you feel a certain type of way. And this is what's going to come up in the next conversation. Listen to how she talks about Stacey.
Stacey asked him, did he have a girlfriend? Or like Joel basically said he's single.
Okay, wait. Things are getting a little tense. So we're going to take a moment.
Now, obviously, she makes a point about Stacey asking a question about is he single? And he obviously answers it anyway, so it's obviously true. Now, when he says obviously being single, he's talking about the fact that me and her are not an item as of yet. We are not declared a relationship yet, but she's got a different understanding. We are exclusive, I guess, or we're dating and we are exclusive. Like, she's got a completely different understanding in terms of boundaries, and there's a reason why. And this is why Joel is a playboy, or F-boy, you want to call it as that, and why I say that Joel's messing around, because this is why I always encourage you guys to do ask a direct question. When it gets to that point where you feel like you're falling, I keep on falling in and love with you. You know what I'm saying? When you start feeling yourself being into a fool, you got to ask this very direct question. Where do you stand? Who are you? What do you want? Right? Do a Jason. What do you want? Because I want you. That simple. Right? So that everybody knows where they stand and they keep it a buck. And that way no one can be crying about the fact that you never told me. Right? And dance in the great areas. Listen to this.
To catch our breath. More of the reunion when we return.
All right, cool. We'll come back to that. Sorry, I didn't realize that I forgot that I had that point there. Let's come back to this point here. All right, cool. So we're going to come on it in a second or two, right? And this is where Vern's going to explain her thought process. I want you to pay attention very, very clearly to the behavior of Vern. She cares for Joel. She wants Joel. She wants to see it work, and she had a vision in her mind come to the forefront, and it was going to be actualized, but he missed the boat. And here's how he missed the boat. Let's see.
Love Houston reunion special. Before the break, we were checking in with Joel and Venetia. Let me ask you this, Joel. Have you been going out with Stacey?
No.
Thank you.
So we've got the first declaration by Joel now. He's not going out with Stacey. Him and Stacey ain't a ting. Him and Stacey ain't like that. He's got everybody's number. He wants to be friends with them, okay? He wanted to be friends with everybody, okay? That was his particular ploy, right? Which is what's going to be used against him. And the reason why is because he was being friends with everybody else and lacking in the intimacy areas of quality time with Venetia. She made that very, very clear. All right, cool.
I don't have a girlfriend. What you talking about? And they say, what you and Venetia? I say, we taking our time. That was it.
If we're dating, and then I verbatimly ask you, Joel, are we seeing other people? If he would have said, yeah, that's fine, because...
And so that's the problem here. She asked a very direct question. When you ask a direct question, I need a very direct answer. I'm going to say it again for you guys. P-E-W. You know this already. All right. Position, expectation, wants. If you are in a position where I like you and then you want to see what they're on, you say, hey, this is my expectation. I want to go into a relationship with you. And you say, what do you want? I want a relationship with you. What do you want? That person now has an obligation. Anything but yes is a no, 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 no. Anything but a yes is a no. Okay? And that's okay. Okay? Now, so long as obviously you're not someone who's going to be overly clingy and you've tried to nail this person to the cross within the first week of talking to them, that's kind of crazy. That might not be what they want. But still, when you feel yourself falling, you got to let the person know. So you know where they stand. Okay? And then you can take an effective decision from there onwards. Do you feel what I'm saying?
I know how to move. We can still date, but I'm gonna date other people.
Right.
But if you're telling me no, I have no desire to date anyone else or to do this or to...
And that's the issue there. When she's asked him that question, he said, no, I have no desire to date anybody else. I'm not seeing anybody else. So she's locked in. But here's the thing. Just because he's not dating anybody else, don't make the assumption now it's me and you in a relationship. That's the key point. Just because he's not looking outside doesn't mean he wants anybody else. It doesn't mean he even wants you. He just said, I'm not trying to date anybody else. That's it. That doesn't guarantee he wants you. That's why another question is followed up. Okay, do you want us to be in a relationship? Because that's the key question that you've got to ask. It's fair to make an assumption at that point, but to be safe, we don't make those assumptions. We make questions and we answer it and we get our answers so we know exactly where we stand. Yeah?
do that. But I'm hearing otherwise.
I know what I said, and I never said nothing to downplay us. Me telling somebody I don't have a girlfriend, I'm taking my time, that ain't downplaying us, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is true. It's not downplaying us by saying, obviously, I'm taking my time, because obviously at the end of the day, you know, that's his experience. And, you know, I think it's fair enough to say you're taking your time, but we also already knew that he wasn't feeling her at this point, right? He was going off her. But it's a fair point to make. I agree that, you know, saying obviously, oh, you know, I'm taking my time can't be something that we're saying that we have to, you know, throw the book at him. No, it's not that case at all. I can rock with that and I can agree with that. Now, let's just look a little bit about, you know, I want to go back just to this point. Listen to this.
Know how to move. We can still date, but I'm gonna date other people.
Right.
But if you're telling me no, I have no desire to date anyone else or to do this or to do that. But I'm hearing otherwise.
I know what
Sorry, I missed the clip that I wanted to bring to you guys. It's slightly earlier. It's something that she said, and I was like, oh. And I was like, a lot of the cast now are using, I like to say, softer words for potentially not saying sex. Okay, because nobody wants to really expose himself like that. But it sounds like we're having sex, people. It sounds like we're having sex on these shows. Listen to this.
We left set every day together. We come early for interviews. We go get breakfast. If I'm interviewing, he waiting on me when I come out. We woke up on the phone together. We went to sleep on the phone together. It changed. We stopped being intimate.
Oh. Now, that may just mean, she may just mean emotionally being intimate, physically intimate in terms of us spending time together. She may not mean sexually intimate, but when we say about we stopped being intimate, it may be that they stopped having sex. You heard me? So it may be they stopped having sex, and that's the truth. And that is what's going to cause even more feelings to arise in Venetia. If that really is the case, if they really did have sex, that is going to arise some really deep feelings in Venetia. Sex ain't free. I already told you guys. If you're out here, know your level. Sex ain't free. It comes at a price. It comes at a very heavy price. Okay? It comes at a very heavy price. All right, cool. Let's look at this particular scene here. I wanted to just break this down as well. Go back to the Stacy issue, and then we can bring that in as well. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's get the Stacy part sorted. Yeah.
Big on being friends with everybody, that he neglected me.
Can I finish, V? Can I finish?
Okay.
Now, if you let her tell it, my last message from Venetia, I'm dating Stacy.
Okay, so we're going back to the Stacey point. So I wanted to bring this point up now because she's going to make a point about Stacey and where these rumors are really actually coming from, and I think that's so important because Venetia likes to jump the gun a little bit, and I understand why, because obviously, like I said, she likes him and really wants it to work. But that jumping of the gun is what closes a man in when he feels like everything you hear, you jump at it. Everything you hear about me, you believe it. Like, come on, like, give me a little bit of leeway here. Give me a little bit of, give me a little bit of trust here. Don't close the walls in on me and attack me emotionally. When you're not sure that's the absolute truth. Let's have a look at this.
Telling somebody I don't have a girlfriend, I'm taking my time, that ain't downplaying us, right? But I don't know how that get back to you, but I know what I said.
Because it was said to me that Stacey thought that you was still fair game.
So obviously the cast have been talking. We're not sure who's been talking, but somebody been talking. Somebody got loose lips and they're sinking ships. Relationships, okay? Somebody's been talking, and obviously she's picked it up and heard it, and that's what she's now running with. But it's now affected the way that she's seeing Stacey too, because in the end now she's going to come and address Stacey, and you're going to hear the real energy of what she feels about Stacey. Let's play.
You hearing this from? Where this coming from?
The cast.
The cast.
Why is Stacey's name
I
being
have no
invoked?
idea, Stacey.
Hey, let's get it.
If that's not true, Stacey, I do apologize.
So she said, obviously, here, look, if it's not Stacey, I do apologize. But at first, she was reluctant. If you watched her body language as well, and she's kind of said, she was reluctant to go into telling who actually told her, right? Sometimes this, when information comes to you and the person said, don't tell anybody I told you, and you have to cover them now. But you need to use that information at the go. This is why I said sometimes I don't be saying certain things because I don't want to be the one that shoots. You don't want to be shooting the messenger. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the one that's getting shot. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just been not saying anything. I keep my mouth shut. Keep quiet. Don't talk. Don't open. Don't say anything. Just keep quiet. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that there we're gonna see. Here's the point.
But I did hear that, and I'm woman enough to admit that.
I mean, cause you was acting real ugly with me.
Well, I don't like move certain stuff, and I feel like a lot of times you will overstep boundaries.
So here we go. That's the truth, right? So now the energy that Stacey might have been feeling from Vern wasn't just by chance, but what she was sensing from her was she felt like the person was getting too close to her man, overstepping boundaries. Sis, whenever someone oversteps the boundaries, you don't check the person at the boundary, okay? Now, I listen. I get it. There's some burglars in this world. But the truth of the matter is, the person you need to check is the person who's in the relationship with you. Okay? The person who's in a relationship with you or in a dating with you, or whatever you not called it, that's the person you check. You don't change your energy towards that person as if they're the one that are the baddies, because at the end of the day, you're not dating them, you're dating the person in the relationship. They're the ones that have to take the flak and take the heat. Not the woman outside of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's so important. Like, people do that all the time when they choose a woman. I'm like, a woman do that sometimes as well, where they blame the other woman. Why? They're not in a relationship with you. Whether they knew or not doesn't make a difference. You're in a relationship with that guy. Deal with him. What you're doing is displacing.
Of what?
Of whatever, considering you knew me and Joel dating. I seen you put your hand on Joel's chest.
She said, I saw your hand upon his chest. Darling, again, who should regulate that? That is Joel. That is Joel to tell Stacey, take your hand off me. Venetia don't like them things there. Yeah? And I want to respect the boundaries. He don't care. He don't give a hoots if Stacey touches his chest or anybody else. You are trying to institute a boundary that he doesn't want. He's not necessarily instituting, or he's not backing. Why? Why do it? Why try to hold somebody down when they don't want to be held down? Why hold a boundary that the other person doesn't want to hold this boundary? Check them. Stop checking the person outside. You're displacing in the sense of the fact that you can't attack like when you go to work, right? You can't attack your boss. So when you get home, you attack your partner. You're displacing, right? I don't know if it's called displacing. It begins with a D though. You know, you're instead of you actually attacking the main thing, you're projecting on someone else, and they're gonna take your heat.
When?
Y'all was standing in a corner and you did something to this nature. To his chest. I told him.
I don't even recall that.
Now, Stacey probably did it, but it doesn't really make a difference. At the end of the day, you know, the way Vern's reaction's happening, that's the point that Joel's making. I think Joel has pointed out quite clearly, that's what I'm dealing with. You know, the territorialness and the willingness to fight so quickly, it's not attractive to him. He doesn't want that. He wants peace. And that's not what he wants for the mother of his children that's going to come in and fill that role. So I know why he felt the way he felt right now, but let's keep it 100% true. In the beginning, you weren't sold. Let's keep it 100% true. You weren't. I don't think he was fully sold. I think he liked her. Oh, baby. Had a back. You know, body was amazing. Everything, sex was crazy, probably. But in terms of long term, it wasn't it. It wasn't it at all.
I said that, Amber?
Yeah, you said you would have been very upset.
No, you said that's definitely not true.
You didn't let me finish. I told Joelle that you said you would have been very upset.
Now, this is a conversation between Amber and Vern about what was being said about if Amber had asked Joel to come for dinner when obviously, you know, his mother-in-law had passed. And now Vern is denying it, saying that's not what it is. You said, and it's like, again, Vern, you see, you're territorial. And you're forgetting you're territorial, and you're trying to protect your mate, but your mate isn't protecting you. Why are you continue trying to do that? Because you care for him. You're invested. Your emotions are in deep. But the trouble is he's not feeling the exact same way. And that's the most important thing. Both parties need to feel a certain way. Okay, there needs to be a mutualness. There needs to be agreement. If there isn't, you're going to look like a fool. And that's all it looks like. Now it looks like Venetia is looking like a fool, but she's not a fool. She just genuinely cares for the guy.
Said, had we just went alone. I said to you, well, V, I'm just inviting him because this happened. She said, yeah, Amber, but I thank you for telling me, but I would have been very upset if you went.
So again, you know, so that and that's a very, very careful moment, a very emotional moment, because his mother-in-law, I think he said, had passed, and it's like, so he would have needed support in that moment, not for you to become territorial. And like I said, unless these rules have been established, you can't do this. Have you established these rules? If not, you're stressing for nothing. Ladies, don't stress for nothing when you have not instituted this as a boundary within your relationship already. You're wasting your energy. Institute the boundary or have that conversation, at least let the person know wagwan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that simple. It's that simple. You feel me?
That's one situation, all right?
It just amazes me how you try to make it seem like I'm just so aggressive.
Our conversations in the...
She said, it's so amazing that you're trying to make me out look like I'm so aggressive. Sis, Amber's done it. Stacey's feeling it. Joel's feeling it. You got 3. It may be time to revisit what you're actually displaying, because maybe you are looking a bit aggressive. You feel what I'm saying? Like, maybe you are looking a little bit aggressive. I don't even need to go and finish off with the slap conversation because, again, I think it speaks for itself. You know, I like Vern. I think Vern's really cool. And I think she's ready to love. I just felt like, I think with Joel, she really felt she was catching a big fish. I always say this. And that makes you even more tenuous in the way that you deal with situations. You really want to hold on to something because you're scared of losing it. But you can't be showing that level of territorial aggressiveness with someone like Joel, because he doesn't want that. You know, for some guys it'll work, but for Joel and them, it won't. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with our thoughts and sentiments? You know, I'm always open for that conversation down in the chat. You feel me? Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for the notification of the uploads. We appreciate. Stay locked and stay low.